Hi Aries, welcome to Aries Moon Arcana. I'm Kaya and this video is going to be a general tarot reading for July for you guys for 2020. I just want to say I had a schedule before. I've completely redone my whole scheduling plan. So I haven't been around for a little while because I've just been shuffling, like figuring out what works the best. So I've decided to do weekly videos. So I changed the schedule. It's in the description box below. So I'm going to be doing one. I'm going to be releasing once every Thursday, and they're all going to have a different point to them: general, love, money, career, all that good stuff. So that's that. I've also kind of I don't know, made it a little more homey in my little space. So let's just get right into it, shall we? I pulled an oracle message for you and I got the Justice card for your July reading. So this kind of makes me feel like it's time to make something right, or something will be made right during this time. If you need to get a lawyer, go ahead and get one. This card usually has something to do with lawyers. It's not really I don't really know. I don't go into details about like mundane things like that so much, but it just feels like there's something that's not really balanced that needs to be kind of corrected here, like almost karmically. And that's what this month is going to be about for you guys. So let's just jump right on in, take you down to the tarot land. As you can see, I've gone shopping and I repleted my vegetables. So there's lots of that. I'm going to just do a nice little cleanse of the cards. So we want this to just be about Aries. Get all the other energy out of the cards because I go through a lot of energies. You want a blank slate here, babies. All right, this is like new sage, so it's kind of intense. All right, I'm gonna begin with the Golden Universal deck. So, Aries, what have we here? What do we have to say to Aries for their July general messages? We're getting the Justice card, so something's getting corrected. Something's, something like that is happening. Some sort of balancing act or being made balanced. So if you've been feeling imbalanced about something, it's either going to be made right or you're going to make it right yourself. So let's just get into it, shall we? Page of Wands reversed. Seven of Swords. I had a feeling because I was saying something's being made right, so it seems like something went wrong at some point. Seven of Wands. Five of Swords. Wow. And then the Four of Cups reversed. So I'm feeling kind of like there's a little bit of aggro shit going on here. As in somebody done somebody dirty here. And I think that it's time for somebody to step out of their apathy about it, like just sitting on it and accepting that that's just the way that it is, and kind of starting to feel like, you know what, I fucking hate the way you treated me, or I hate the way that things went down here, and it's time for you to step up and make it right. Or maybe that's you, that you need to step in and make something right, because I'm seeing a little bit of deceit here. I feel like there was some sort of plan in place, where it's like between two people. I'm seeing it's very just two people having an altercation, or somebody kind of promising to do something and taking action and making plans with someone, and then just going against them. And it was a scuffle. I'm seeing a scuffle here with this Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands, and then the Five of Swords. I'm seeing there being some sort of fight, basically, an argument. Somebody betrayed somebody, or just did somebody dirty. And it's not great, right? So whomever was on the receiving end of this stuff may have felt after the fight, they were just you know what, I don't want to fight anymore, so I'm just gonna let it go. But I think that you're finding that you're not okay with letting it go. It's just not acceptable to you. You don't feel you don't want to let it go anymore, and you want to make something right, or somebody else wants to make it right. So even it could even be the other person who did something that felt shitty to you. That's you know what, it's not okay what I did, and I want to make it right. So somebody, I feel like somebody needs to kind of make this happen, but it's gonna come out of a stage of acceptance, thinking that you're okay with it, but you're fuck that, I'm totally not okay with that. because it hurts or it's shitty, and like whatever trust was there has kind of been, you know, fucked with and broken up a little bit. So I'm seeing some sort of plan being injured. So I'm gonna read like this. So let's see here. I'm gonna get some clarification just on this Page of Wands reversed. I want to kind of know what the plan was, almost like what the what was it that was going on that got foiled. So I'd like just some info about that, please. Just some clarification on this Page of Wands reversed. Like, what's the story? I just want to get more of an idea what this story is. Six of Pentacles, Three of Swords, Three of Cups reversed. Somebody may have thought that things were going well, and they may have like thought that somebody had their back here. Like financially, maybe. Like it's almost like somebody was like, oh yeah, I can pay for that, or like we can go on this vacation, and you know, like, or like you can move in with me, I can cover the rent. And then it's like, oh no, never mind, I can't actually do that, or like we're not going on that trip, or like I fucking cheated on you. So like, which unfortunately is like the most common fucking occurrence, and it's so bizarre to me. But yeah, somebody kind of took away the party vibes, the good times that were like afoot. Maybe there was like a vacation or a party, or like you were gonna have some friends over as a couple, just something like that. I'm feeling like there, or you know, it could even just be work. Like you thought that you were gonna be getting your job back because your old employer or something maybe told you that that was definitely going to happen, and then it got taken away. So there's just some element of this that's like a painful like change of heart that somebody made, I'm seeing, and it's like took away what the good times were supposed to be like, and you thought everything was covered, like you thought everything was okay, and then something kind of just came and like, psh, no it ain't, and you're like, what the fuck, that's not where I wanted things to go, of course, right? I'm gonna clarify all of these together because this is like a whole story. This doesn't look like stages, this looks like the whole thing, because it's like the wands are kind of trapped by those swords on either side, and that makes me feel kind of like the energy was stifled, or like something. This feels like a very contained sort of issue that happened, and it wasn't a good thing. Like it was like a shitty fight, or like somebody just wasn't like listening, or like, you know, you're not supposed to be like your lover or your boss or like whomever this is that you're having an issue with is not supposed to be your adversary. They're supposed to be like on your same team. And I'm feeling like you're not feeling like somebody's on your team right now. So you're like, fuck them. I don't like that shit. So let's get some clarity, please. I'm gonna start with the Seven of Swords, Three of Pentacles, the Moon, Ten of Cups reversed, Seven of Wands. There's that Four of Cups again. Six of Wands reversed, the Sun reversed. There's just a lot of disappointment I'm seeing. And then, let's make some room. All right, and then the Five of Swords. We've got the Six of Swords reversed, the Hanged Man, and then the Seven of Pentacles reversed. I mean, I just am feeling like things didn't come to fruition for whatever reason. It could be something small, or it could be something like medium to large. I'm not seeing any indication that's telling me if it's a big thing or a small thing. So like anything matters if it hurts you. That's what I always say. So it doesn't matter if it's big or small, because nobody should be invalidating your feelings about something. But yeah, I'm seeing that there was some sort of like confusion with the communication about something, or at least that's being used against you to weaponize you, or to weaponize the words that maybe you, like someone's like, well, you weren't clear about what we were supposed to be doing. So like, of course it got all fucked up and didn't end up working out. And you're like really disappointed. You're really disappointed. Now remember, this could also be for cross-watchers. So it's possible that, the Aries is the one that disappointed you in this case. So I'm just speaking from the perspective of like the Aries being the main focus. So just, if you know, flip the energies if that makes sense to you. So yeah, I'm seeing like a messiness and confusion with the communication, and that's being used against someone. Like someone saying, well, you didn't clarify. And it's like really childish and bumming you out, and it's making you feel kind of like, fuck, this is not a good conversation. No one's like working together here. And it just kind of bummed you out and made you feel sort of like almost like defensive. Like you're like, well, like you're like, I feel like I see you like kind of sucking back into yourself. I don't know if sucking is the right word, but like retreating, I'll say. Like retreating a little bit, because you're like, nothing's gonna come out of this. I already didn't get what I wanted. I was disappointed because this plan or this job or this vacation got taken away from me, and I'm fucking angry about it and I'm sad about it, but like I'm not gonna put that out there. I'm just gonna put out like the apathetic face, and like I'm gonna just say like, oh, it's no big deal, but it is actually a really big deal, and you're kind of struggling internally with it, I think is what's going on. And then we get to the 5 of Swords, and I see the 6 of Swords reversed, the Hanged Man, and then the 7 of Pentacles reversed. I mean, those are just cards of like no movement, nothing's changing. You're kind of resigned with the situation that you're in. You're not feeling, like I said, you're just choosing to come across as like apathetic because you're in like a holding pattern. I think you're kind of waiting for things to rectify themselves, because you're not really the one that can do it. It's like up to somebody else to make something right, because I think it was their doing that kind of made this fucked up. And you're right, like it's not really your job. But if it is you that kind of undid or disappointed someone, then it is your job to make things right and to invoke this justice kind of vibe and rebalance things out within the context of like whatever this relationship is. Like I said, it could be anybody. It could be a family member, it could be a boss. It doesn't matter, but if it's resonating with you, you'll know who I'm talking about. But if that's the case, then it's on you. So it's on somebody. It's very imbalanced, and somebody has to kind of recognize that like they need to make this right. And the other person is just like, fuck it, I give up. Like fuck it, whatever. You're like, I've been fighting with you about how shitty this is. You're not fucking hearing me. I'm fucking mad and annoyed by it, but like, what am I gonna do? If you're not listening to me, I guess I'll just sit and be disappointed and like feel like I'm sacrificing my needs to just smooth things over, which is like when compromise gets toxic. You know what I mean? So like maybe you think you're compromising because that's the best thing to do within this context, but it's starting to kind of tip the scales a little bit and make it feel like it's overkill. You're compromising what your needs are like too much. And that ain't good, honey. That ain't good at all. And then what I see happening though after this, after you're feeling like you're compromising, it doesn't take you long though to kind of invoke this, like what happens when the 4 of Cups gets reversed is there's like a burst of inspiration, like a burst of like, I cannot sit still in my apathy anymore because the 4 of Cups came up here, like I can't sit in this, I can't sit still with the fucking Hanged Man. And the 7 of Pentacles reversed here comes up as the last card of this clarifying, like, bombardment. And that's where it's like the impatience starts to set in. Cause you're just like, you know what? I don't like sitting on this. I'm not apathetic about this. Actually, I'm really very upset. And it's time for me to open up about it and like tell somebody what's what. So I'm seeing you telling somebody what's what, but not in like a shitty way. Like I think it's really important that you do this. It feels very necessary for you to do this. Because you have to make something right, and maybe the other person doesn't really know how much it disappointed you because you've put on the apathetic face, which is hard for an Aries to do. And so that's why I don't see it lasting very long. Because that's not usually typically Aries style, if you know what I mean. So then I see some honesty coming out. Some burst of honesty coming forth from the person who's been feeling kind of neglected or hurt. So let's get some clarity there with the 4 of Cups reversed, please. What is the deal for Aries for their July general reading? Let's see. Okay. King of Wands reversed, Page of Swords, the Lovers. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're not feeling very like on your throne. You don't feel like you have much of the power to make things change, right? Like I was saying, that it's up to somebody else, because somebody else kind of took away the thing. And there's not really much you can do about it for some reason, because this feels like a physical situation and not necessarily an emotional situation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's an actual thing that was like taken or like some sort of promise was taken away, and it's like the other person's responsibility to either figure out that that was so disappointing that they need to put more effort into making it happen, or make it right in some other way, even though it was really disappointing. You know, like, be like, I'm sorry, I just can't afford this vacation, for example. But like, do it in a way that makes things okay and doesn't like perpetuate the angry feelings. So you're like, your power is kind of taken away because you're like sort of waiting for this other person to be cool, bro. And this is where the apathy starts to break down, because you are like starting to speak your truth, but it's coming out. I don't see it somehow, Aries. You're kind of magically harnessing your attitudes and your wildfire way of communication. I see you kind of being a little more tentative about it. I don't think you're coming out in a blaze of glory and fucking banging somebody's door down. I see you, you know, like sort of like tentatively being like, listen, I'm mad about this. I'm hurt. I'm upset. This has really disappointed me. And like, I would like for us to figure out how to like make this thing happen that like seems like it's not going to happen now. Like, in what way can we do that? And so I think you are going to come to this other person, because the Lovers doesn't always mean a romantic relationship. This is just about being on the same plane with another person. So whatever, that's what I was saying before, where it doesn't feel like a lot of people are involved. It feels like a two-person situation. That's definitely reinforced by this card showing up. So yeah, there's one other person that you're dealing with, and you are coming to them with the truth, because that's the only way things are going to get balanced. And I do think that that's going to work itself out, because we go through all this information, all this clarifications, and then you finally open up about your feelings, and then immediately, boom, we get the Justice and the Lovers cards, you know, as like the kind of like overall last cards. Because I usually read the Oracle card in the story as like the outcome. I will pull outcome cards too, but I just see that as like, you know, the general outcome, or like the preferred outcome, in this case especially. So yeah, I'm seeing there is one other person that like, once you break your apathy, like your the facade that you're putting up, that you're like cool with whatever's going on, and you start to open up about your feelings. And like I said, I think you're doing it in like a, maybe not gentle, but in like it could even be like you're manipulating the situation by being passive instead of being aggressive. So you could even be like, well, you know, something kind of shitty like that could be the way that you're handling it. I mean, I wouldn't suggest that, but you know, I can't stop anybody from doing anything. But you know, there's kind of like a tiptoeing instead of running full force about like, I'm upset about this. But it does seem to like let the other person know, because I think the other person just didn't realize how disappointing it was to you. I don't think they meant to hurt you. I don't think that they were like betraying you and like knew it and it was a terrible fucking thing. I just think that like they just figured it was fine, because you know, like I don't know, I see you just being disappointed, but like putting on a brave face about it, and now you're finally like, you know what, being brave doesn't really matter in this circumstance. This kind of bummed me out and it fucked with me, and like I want to talk to you about it. So I think that's a good call. I think that will work out in your favor. So let's just get some overarching energy cards or outcome cards, or just like, you know, whatever messages maybe we missed. Let's just see what we got. Anything left over for Aries for their July general reading? What is the dealio? I don't read the jumpers unless they're, I don't know how to describe it. I know the feeling when the jumper is meant for the reading. Otherwise, for me, in my opinion, for me, it's just me shuffling poorly because my hands are tiny. So let's just see what we got. Wheel of Fortune reversed and the Emperor. Yeah, Aries, Emperor's your card. So like you're coming back into your, that's amazing, first of all, because we just were saying that the last two main cards of the reading were the Lovers and Justice, which are two major arcana cards, and then we get two more major arcana cards. And Wheel of Fortune reversed to me is like taking matters into your own hands, essentially, not waiting around for something to happen. And I think that's when you start to open up about your feelings and break the apathetic facade that you've got going on, and taking back your power by just being honest and direct. You can try to be passive aggressive and manipulative, but that's not going to yield you as good results, in my opinion. I don't, just because that's life, and as far as I'm concerned, I always find the best way of dealing is like being direct with somebody and just saying, this is how I'm feeling, and then let them do what they will with that information. Unless you're working with a really manipulative person who won't listen to you when you're being direct, then you should just leave, because fuck that. But yeah, I see you taking your power back by kind of doing this. And then like I said, I think things really like rectify themselves or work out. And I think that person will really like, holy shit, I'm so sorry. You know, I'm sorry that I disappointed you and bummed you out. I really didn't know. Like, I really didn't know how deeply this fucked with you and bummed you out. And so you're kind of sitting on your high horse a little bit about it, because you're like, but not, it could be in a dick way, but not necessarily, where you're just like, thank you. I knew it. I knew I was right. And I appreciate you, you know, coming forward and like making this right, because you were like, I knew it. I knew I wasn't doing something fucked up here. I knew it was somebody else. So, you know, you're sitting pretty by the end of it. So there might be a little bit of that going on, but like taking matters into your own hands in terms of being very direct. And I know that Aries typically is very direct about their feelings. So that's why this is a funny reading. Like, I would have thought this would be more for somebody else, but hey, that's just what the card said. So I'm sure there are some Aries out there that have a harder time expressing themselves and are sick of people always assuming that Aries knows how to express themselves. So, you know, that might be for you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Speak your mind, be direct, but don't be overbearing or aggressive, because that's not going to work. Take matters into your own hands, and then, like, you know, come to your magnificent, you know, conclusion. Don't die. That's not what I'm saying. But, you know, figure this stuff out. But I see there being, like, good energy for the reconciliation of the issue. So yeah, you got it going on, Aries. That's pretty fabulous. Thank you so much for being here. If you're still watching, it means that you really resonated, or you know an Aries that would benefit from hearing this. In that case, send them my way. Like I said, I've got a whole new schedule. I've totally revamped the whole thing. So you can find that in the description box below. I do personal readings. My Etsy store is also in the description box below. And like, subscribe, share, and comment, because I know everybody says that, but like, now that things are like up and running for me, I can really see the difference that it makes. So if you really enjoyed this, please just by all means let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Communicate, subscribe, like, blah blah blah, all that good stuff, because it really does help, and then that will lead me to being able to do this more. Hey, it's a win-win. So yeah, that's that. Thank you so much for being here, Aries, and I will see you next week. Bye.